England was overflowing with people, jobs were disappearing, and families felt trapped. Many believed crossing the ocean was their only chance to escape hopelessness. The enclosure movement pushed countless farmers from their lands. As fields were fenced off, thousands saw the New World as their last opportunity for survival. Wealthy landowners seized huge estates, forcing poor families into the streets. Desperation grew, and America became a distant promise of a new beginning. London's narrow alleys filled with unemployed workers. Life in the city became unbearable, convincing many that starting over in America was worth the risk. At foggy English ports, entire families left behind everything familiar. Their journey to America was driven by fear, survival, and the hope of new opportunities. Puritans faced harsh religious persecution in England. Their secret gatherings and constant fear pushed them to seek true freedom in the uncharted lands of America. Under darkness, Puritans escaped England carrying only faith and determination. They believed America could become a safe haven for their deeply threatened beliefs. Quakers and other dissenters suffered brutal treatment from authorities. With little protection at home, many fled toward America searching for dignity and spiritual freedom. Diverse religious groups left England behind, each hoping America would offer the tolerance they lacked. For them, the New World represented safety, acceptance, and peace. Crossing the Atlantic was terrifying and deadly. Despite storms and unpredictable seas, settlers pressed forward, driven by desperation and the promise of a better life. After weeks at sea, settlers first glimpsed America's coastline. That faint outline of land brought overwhelming hope after enduring hardship, fear, and uncertainty. Stepping onto American soil felt like rebirth. Settlers carried nothing but faith that this unfamiliar land might offer opportunities England no longer could. Vast North American forests stretched endlessly before settlers. The untouched wilderness symbolized both overwhelming challenges and enormous possibilities for building new lives. Fur traders explored deep forests, discovering resources England desperately wanted. These early ventures showed the enormous economic value hidden within America's wilderness. Tobacco fields quickly became the colony's lifeline. This profitable crop tied America's future closely to England's growing demand for wealth and international power. Ships loaded with American resources filled English ports. Timber, tobacco, and furs fueled England's economic ambitions and strengthened its influence across the Atlantic world. The Atlantic trade system turned American colonies into essential profit machines. England relied heavily on this triangular flow of goods, wealth, and control. Raw materials like tobacco, cotton, and indigo became symbols of colonial wealth. England saw the colonies as vital suppliers of valuable global commodities. To keep profits flowing, England imposed strict trade laws. These rules forced colonies to depend entirely on the empire, limiting their freedom and growth. Unfair taxation enraged colonists. They felt used, exploited, and financially trapped, fueling rising tensions that would eventually reshape the future of America. European empires fiercely competed for territory. If England didn't claim North America, rival nations would dominate, weakening England's global power and influence. Tensions with France escalated across North America. Control of land, trade routes, and strategic forts pushed both empires toward conflict and deeper expansion. England strengthened its naval presence to protect colonial interests. Control of the Atlantic gave the empire enormous military and economic advantages over rivals. Prisoners and debtors were forcibly sent to America. England used the colonies as a dumping ground, creating cheap labor and reducing overcrowded prisons. Life in the colonies demanded relentless labor. Settlers and workers struggled daily to survive, fueling the economic engine England depended so heavily on. For many migrants, America represented freedom from oppression. Chains falling symbolized their painful past, and the colonies offered a chance to rebuild identity. Merchants in England grew rich from colonial goods. Every shipment brought more profit, revealing how deeply England relied on its expanding American territories. Early settlements slowly rose from the wilderness. Homes, farms, and small towns formed the foundation of what would become the 13 English colonies. Farmers worked tirelessly to cultivate new land. Their determination transformed untouched soil into thriving communities that supported England's growing global ambitions. Tensions between settlers and indigenous peoples grew. Competing needs for land and survival created conflicts that shaped the early colonial frontier. Life in the colonies was a constant struggle, yet families held on to hope, believing their sacrifices would create a better future for generations. Colonial ports bustled with trade. Ships carried raw materials to England, strengthening the economic bond that kept England invested in American expansion. In England, politicians fiercely debated colonial policy. Every decision aimed to tighten control, protect profits, and maintain power across the Atlantic world. Maps of North America gradually filled with English-claimed territories. Each new colony expanded England's influence and deepened its hold on the continent. The British flag rose over the 13 colonies, symbolizing dominance. Yet beneath that flag grew tensions that would eventually challenge England's authority.